Hey guys, so just bringing you a little short video just to show you what setup I'm going to be using for the Queen Black Dragon that's released tomorrow, and I'm going to bring you a bit of information if you didn't already know. Now, MCM was obviously last weekend. If you don't know what that is, it's some event in London that Jaggers were actually at, and a few people that were there actually recorded some interviews. You can find them on YouTube and they're very interesting to listen to. There's one to Mod Osborne in particular, and he talks about the Queen Black Dragon and a few things to do with the update. So he has mentioned that the new bow will be like this royal crossbow, and there'll be some specific bolts, and I actually can't recall the name of them. However, they will be dropped by the high level grot worms, and you'll have to kill them, and I assume they're going to be packed because everyone's going to need the bolts. And these are the only bolts that work with the bow, which hinders the question like, is it going to be useful? Because if you don't know, whenever you're in game and you're using range or a boss, you use ruby bolts. Now the reason you use ruby bolts is because of that special that does insane amount of damage. Like if you use rubies on Corp it hits 1000, if you use rubies on Nex it hits 500. That's the reason you use them on Nex, because the special is a guaranteed 500 hit. And since other than that it's not too accurate, that is why you want to use ruby bolts, because it's a 500. There's better bolts than rubies. Rubies aren't even that high. I mean, you've got onyx, you've got dragonstone, you've got diamond bolts, they're all higher than a ruby, but yet you use ruby because of that special. That's something I actually don't agree with Roof Range, due to the fact that because of a special they're just automatically used, at least until half HP anyway, generally. But then obviously you have these bolts that are going to be some special bolts. However, he does mention the fact that the bow gets stronger the longer you're in a fight. Now, obviously we can't really know much about that until tomorrow or whenever somebody actually gets a bow, because obviously we don't know if somebody will have it straight away or anything. And when we do get a look at it, we'll see how good it is. But it's quite an important topic really, because obviously the fight length is important. So everything that jumps to everyone's mind is Next fights are ages, but you got to think, does it reset if you're out of combat? Because there's times during Next that you are out of combat. There's many times that you could possibly be out of combat, and it's kind of, does it change when you go from Next to a minion? If you're not getting attacked, does it stop? I don't know. Let's just hope Jaggers have sorted that out properly. But the other thing that I mentioned was some sort of d'hide, and this is going to be d'hide that is better than black d'hide, and I can't remember what the requirement was, but it was pretty high, higher than Armadillo requirement. However, whether it'll be better than Armadillo, I don't know. I somehow doubt it's going to be better than Armadillo for being a d'hide, but who knows how good it'll be. But it'll be a nice replacement for black d'hide. Right, if we go on to my setup for the Queen Black Dragon now they have mentioned that melee is best, and that it's like high risk, high reward sort of thing. But we know about some of the Queen Black Dragon's attacks being like, the main two attacks are Time Stop and Fire Wave. They mention that Time Stop, like when the ghost comes out, if you don't attack the ghost you'll get stopped, frozen of some sort. What will happen I'm not sure. And they also mentioned that we've already seen lots of pictures of the Fire Wave, and we can see that it's very like the quest Char from the Firemaker's Curse, that's it, the boss Char, where she like throws waves of fire at you and you've got to find the little gap. It's very, very similar to that by the look of the pictures, and you've got to get through the gap. Now obviously if you're meleeing and it comes out the mouth, you're next to it. But I've heard you'll be able to see the attack, so you can see the Queen Black Dragon and you see some fireball forming or something and you can run away. That's what I'm going to be aiming for, and so that's why I'm using a melee setup, because we've been told it's the best. However, we're not sure if Divine, if you will have to use a Dragonfire Shield. Now, if you look at all the teaser pics, in all the teaser pics they've used a Dragonfire Shield. I know they've used the stupidest armor, but they've always used a Dragonfire Shield. So I'm making sure I'm definitely taking one just in case. But I've got a Divine on for now. Obviously if I get hit by the by Fire Breath or something, it'll say in my game chat and I'll be able to wear it. But I've got it on me just in case. Now obviously in the event, we know that each kill is going to be relative, like it's going to be instance, and I guess it's going to be a tough fight, and it's only going to be like one kill per trip, I imagine. So I'm only taking one overload. I imagine it's not going to take any longer than half an hour. And then a perennial match, obviously, to save prayer. And then a super anti-fire, because they last I think they last about 6 minutes per dose or something. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I know they last longer than an overload dose. And then I have some dreadnoughts, just in case they're useful. I'm not 100% sure, obviously. No one knows anything yet, but they might come in handy for like killing them ghosts or something. I don't know, but they might come in handy for attacking things that I'm not killing. And I've got some special recovers just so that I can be under the influence of this Excalibur more often, because obviously if you don't know, the Excalibur actually heals you progressively over time, so that would help a lot, I imagine, if I'm going to be taking a lot of damage. And claws just speed it up slightly. I'm not too bothered about getting a fast kill, I just want to be able to manage it. So then I've just got some brews and restores, and I've got 2 Remington tabs. And if you're wondering why, this is because I'm not using the necklace, because you can only use it once per day. So obviously I'm going to be doing many Queen Black Dragon kills, or at least attempts, and I don't, obviously I might use it the first kill, but there's no point otherwise. But the reason I've got 2 is that it's very similar to the God Wars trick. If you come into God Wars, you telly twice, drop an item, telly back and pick it up after, and that way you don't lose the space that I'm holding the tab in. So I'm going to telly there, drop a brew, telly back to a bank, pick up another brew, and then telly back and pick up the one on the floor, and that makes my invent full. So that's why I'm doing that. So in my yak, I basically have a very similar, I just have a kind of a 2-to-1 ratio, just slightly more brews than that, simply because I'm using overloads, and then I've got my uni at the end, so I know when my yak's finished. But as for my setup, I'm using a melee setup, as I mentioned, but just full Torva. Now, I know a lot of players don't have full Torva. Now, the obviously alternative is Bandos, and you can also use Ganodermic. I'm not too sure, because obviously Ganodermic's going to have no range defense, but can you pray range? I'm actually on prayers at the minute, but I need to switch to curses. But we don't know what pray range is going to do. We don't know what prayer is going to be useful. Can you even pray? We don't know anything yet. That's the problem. So Ganodermic might be good, but if you need to pre-praying mage or something and you're getting attacked by range, I imagine you're going to get wrecked in Gano. So Bandos or Gano, I imagine if you haven't got Torva, will be the best. And the rest of the setup is quite obvious. I've just got the best melee setup is in game. It's just quite common sense. I'm sure every player knows what to use if you bring a melee setup. And obviously I'm using a rapier, because that's generally good on dragons. It's all good on all dragons in the game. They're all weak to stab, so that seems the optimum choice. And I've got Goliath gloves and everything else. Now, obviously we've been told that melee is just a high risk, high reward setup sort of thing. And range setup is obviously the other choice, the alternative. So if melee is too difficult to do with, well, like on the first attempts, you can obviously use a range setup. Now, for a range setup, obviously you want to wear full Pernix if you got it, but other than that, Armadillo, or potentially the new D-Hide if you got that. Or even the new bow, if you can manage to get that, instead of like Chaotic Crossbow with Diamond or Ruby Bolts. They seem like a probably good choice. The Ruby Bolts might do some insanely good specs on the Queen Black Dragon, or whatever you're killing. I know you have to kill them ghost sort of things, so I guess it's hard to tell till tomorrow, but should be quite interesting. We've been told that melee is a good setup, so I'm pretty confident I should be able to do it first time. Now, the way you're going to die is if you get comboed or run out of supplies. Now, if I don't get comboed, I've surely got enough supplies. Like, I mean, surely. I've got a lot here, but who knows? We have to wait till tomorrow, but oh well. We can see tomorrow. I'm really looking forward to it, and it should be awesome. I just can't wait. I mean, I hope the update's not too late in the afternoon, because I want it to be early. But the good thing is we don't have to do the quest beforehand. And the quest is definitely worth doing because it does give you a damage reduction buff. So if you haven't done the quest already, do make sure you do it. I've got a quest guide on my channel for that quest if you want to do it. Sung from the Depths it's called. And that will be really handy in killing the Queen Black Dragon. I'm sure I'll be joining the live stream tomorrow with RuneShark, who will be killing the Queen Black Dragon also. And you'll get to hear if anything I get. I will be recording as well, and if I get an item I will upload the vid. And I'll do a vid on the Queen Black Dragon tomorrow regardless anyway. So anyway, thanks for watching guys, and I will see you possibly later for another video, or tomorrow morning I will be doing one.